The microcosmic orbit is probably the best known Qigong exercise. It's found in many different Qigong systems, and it will harmonize and ground kundalini energy quite well. It will relieve the pressure on all the major chakras in the body, and you will in general have a more relaxed energy feeling in your body, and you will have less negative side effects. All of the positive side effects will stay, and well, I don't see any reason not to do this exercise if you have accidentally released your Kundalini. One thing I would say before we start is to ask you whether you have viewed my first video, because that kind of gives some general points for energy work, and I would advise you to view that one before you view this. The orbit, and what does it accomplish? Well, you have two major channels for vital energy in your body. You have one on the back, that's a channel that goes up your spine, and then you have a front channel which runs at the front of the body. And the back channel holds hot energy, and the front channel holds or contains cold energy. When you do the orbit, then you will connect these two. So you will actually create an energy loop around the back and the front side of your body. This energy loop will connect all the major chakras in your body, and by mixing the hot energy with the cold energy, you won't really have any more hot energy bursts. You know, those painful bursts of fire that people sometimes report. They will be history, because now you have actually merged the energy, so to speak. Some basics about energy work before we begin. Energy is consciousness, as they say. So any kind of awareness that you have in your body can be used to direct energy. If you direct your consciousness, your awareness to your feet, then you will direct and activate energy in your feet. The same goes with focusing on the head, then you will direct energy to your head and activate energy in those centers. So for any kind of energy exercise, we use tactile imaging. Tactile imaging is simply where you focus on a sensation in the body, and then you kind of locate your awareness, your concentration in that part of your body, usually by viewing the energy as having some shape or form and or a color. And the body has several energy collection points. It has certain chakras, and it also has some energy storage centers. The most important one that we will use is one found in the lower belly, and in this area energy can actually be stored without being disruptive to the body. The orbit is done in the way that you actually start out by building up energy in the lower part of your belly. Once you got a good feel of the energy there, then you will cycle it up your back. You will visualize it as a ball of energy halfway into the body and halfway out. Then you will cycle it over the head and down the front channel to the groin, to the perineum, and up the back again. And this is actually one loop. You will continue to do this for a total of 20 to 30 minutes. You will do several loops, and then you will finish by grounding the energy in the lower belly. And then you can simply kick back and relax and enjoy the relaxed feeling that you'll get. I've made a drawing here of these energy pathways. So the kind of the red channel that you see up the back is the back channel, where hot energy is typically travels in the body. Then the blue channel is the front channel, and that's where cold energy is transferred. And then you have some energy focus points, the perineum, which is the purple blob down there. And then you have the Ming Men, which is located just an inch above the base of your spine. And then the lower belly is in Chinese Qigong terms called the Dantian, and this is an important energy storage center. When you do this exercise, you should always keep the tongue to the roof of your mouth. It should be touching the meat just behind the teeth. The reason for why you should do this is that the tongue will act as a kind of, well, I don't know the exact word in English. I'm not a native English speaker, but I believe that it acts as a kind of a bridge through which energy can travel, so that you can actually make the energy go from the head and down your body. When you do this exercise, you don't necessarily have to visualize any colors. You can simply just feel the energy instead of visualizing it. If you want to visualize it, which is totally okay, then you can visualize it as a golden or bright color. One thing that I would advise you to do is to do the orbit relatively slowly. If you do the orbit very fast, then you will find that your energy levels in your body will tend to speed up, and this to me can be quite irritating. So personally, I prefer to do it relatively slowly, but feel free to simply experiment and see what works for you. It should be mentioned that the orbit can be done in various ways. My way here is not the only way. I'm teaching you the kind of way to do it that is usually done in Michael Wynn's system, but there are other kinds of ways to do this exercise. Final point to notice is that some believe the Dantian to be just bigger than the lower belly. They believe it encompasses all of the belly. I've only done this exercise using the lower belly, so this is simply what I will teach you. The orbit will typically take around 20 to 30 minutes, and I advise you to do it every day. You will get an effect, well, that kind of varies from one person to another. Most of the people that I've trained will get a positive effect the first time. Personally, it took me around a week to get a positive effect, and I've read that for some people, it can take up to a month. I would, however, say that given the amount of people that I've trained, which is around a handful of people, and they all get a positive effect the first time. So I would say that usually within the first couple of weeks, something positive should be happening. One thing that people probably will ask about is whether this can make things any worse. And that's a very understandable thought to have. You know, if you've accidentally released your kundalini, then your first thought will probably be to not make it any worse, because it's hard enough as it is. And I would say that this exercise can't really make it any worse. I don't see any way in which it can make it worse. The only thing that can make it worse if you obsess about it, because Kundalini in general does react to mental resistance. And in that case, the exercise is not really making it worse, but you're making it worse yourself. There's a very easy solution for this, and that is simply to do the exercise and keep doing it and just relax more and more into the experience. And I'm pretty sure that after a few weeks you will become so comfortable with the exercise that you don't really obsess about it anymore. And this is what I did. When I started the exercise, I was quite afraid. I was afraid of making it any worse, and I was afraid of what the exercise might do. And I was actually nervous for the first 3 weeks doing this exercise, and even slightly nervous even months after. But I progressively got more and more comfortable, to the point where I simply didn't care that much about it anymore. I simply did the exercise and liked it, and I've gained a lot of wonderful side effects ever since. Another thing that I would say to you is that energy exercises can do a lot for you. They certainly can. They can reduce many of the negative side effects and give you lots of positive side effects. But there is one thing that they can't do. If you have mental resistance, fears, worries about what might happen if this and that and so on, then this is something that can cause you problems, not necessarily related to this exercise, but with Kundalini in general. They say that Kundalini is a process that will clear out any mental resistance, at least in the long run. So I would advise you to be conscious of any resistance that you have. And this resistance is sometimes kind of subtle. It's not something you notice, it can be in the unconscious, scenarios that you're afraid of, worrying about what might happen if I do this and can I control this and so on. All of these are subtle forms of resistance, and we can go on for years having these forms of resistance and not noticing it. And in general, I would say try to be attentive to this. Stop trying to control so many things related to your Kundalini. Just try to adopt a more happy go lucky attitude, or at least be conscious of your need to control. Because one thing that I've found is that yes, the exercises can do wonderful things, but if you still have resistance, then in the end, this will catch up to you, and you'll need to confront it and embrace it from a point of love and understanding before it goes away. And once you do that, you will really have transcended a lot of your Kundalini problems. So that's one thing I will say. Energy exercises can do a lot of things, but they can't completely, necessarily, at least in my experience, clear you of the very mm, personal emotional resistance and fears that you may have. They certainly can to a certain extent, but you need to be conscious of it yourself. But don't worry too much about that. Now you know it, and just do this exercise and be happy. And I'm sure that once you start to get a feel for it, your resistance will gradually fade and you will be in a much better place. Alright, so let's begin the first exercise, which is the microcosmic orbit. What you do is that you sit down in your couch or in your chair, just find somewhere that is comfortable. Sit with your feet on the ground, don't cross your legs. You can lean back in your couch, don't lean all the way back, try to sit up relatively straight, but you're welcome to lean your back against your chair or couch. Now put your hands in your lap, you can clasp your hands if you want to. Put your tongue to the flesh just behind the teeth, and now close your eyes. Now feel a ball of bright um, energy just 1 inch above the base of your spine. Feel it vibrating and pulsating. It's probably the size of your fist. Feel it gathering, concentrating energy. Now move it to the point just below the navel, an inch below the navel, inside your body. And you can just move it directly straight to that point, so it goes through your body. Feel it building up energy as it pulsates and vibrates. Move it to your perineum, down the front of the groin, just down the groin, to the perineum. It's inside your body, one end touching the perineum, the other end inside your body. And here it also vibrates, pulsates, and concentrates energy. Move it up your tailbone, up to the point just an inch below the base of the spine. Here it concentrates energy again. Now the ball is a bit bigger. Feel it as it concentrates energy. Now move it to the point just below the navel again. The ball is a bit bigger this time. Move it to the perineum. Here it vibrates and pulsates again. Move it up to the Ming point, an inch below, inch above the base of the spine. Feel the ball increasing in size. You can move it around a few more times through the 3 collection points if you want to. Now feel the ball increasing in size so it fills up the entire lower belly. Now it slowly spins in a forward motion around its own axis inside the lower belly, concentrating energy and touching all 3 energy points. Feel the distinct feeling of energy being concentrated in your lower belly. Maybe you feel a tingling, a warmth. Maybe you just feel a presence in that area. And keep rotating the ball. Now visualize an energy tube going out from the ball and up the spine, all the way over the head, down the face, through the tongue, down the front of your body, and connecting the ball with itself. This is a tube that is the orbit, the energy loop. Focus on the ball in your lower belly and the energy tube at the same time. You can visualize it as bright energy if you want to, kind of like light. Now see the ball exit from your lower belly and travel up the spine in slow movements, spinning around its own axis, halfway inside the body and halfway outside, digging into the body, scooping up energy. Maybe it's making its way past the shoulder blades now, slowly digging into the body, up the neck, back of the head, traveling along the tube. Slowly spinning in a forward motion around its own axis, down the face, through the tongue, down the throat, down the chest. Feel how effortless it is. You almost don't have to direct the energy, you can just let the energy run itself. Down the stomach. The ball is digging into your body, scooping up any excess energy. Now it's making its way towards the perineum again. As you get to the tailbone, you will have completed one loop, and we will do several more in the next 20 or so minutes. Maybe the ball is in the lower back now, making its way again. Going up the back. Slow spinning movements. Past the shoulder blades. And you continue to move the ball, or let it move itself. Maybe it's near the perineum again. I will let you continue doing these loops, and when we are getting closer to the point of finishing, I will let you know. You are halfway through the exercise, perhaps a bit more even. Keep doing the loops. I will tell you when to pull the energy back into the lower belly. We still have around 10 minutes left. have less than 5 minutes left. Keep doing the loops. Now get ready to do your last loop or finish the one that you're doing. When you get to the tailbone and lower back again, then pull the energy ball back into your lower belly and let it spin slowly around its own axis in a forward motion or forward spinning. If you have the ball in your lower belly now, then keep spinning it. Spin it around for maybe 15, 20 times. Feel the energy concentrating in your lower belly. Just spin it around slowly. When you spin around 15-20 times, bring it to a halt and pull in the energy tube into the ball again. Now spin it around again, another 15-20 times. Alright, bring the energy ball to a halt. Keep your concentration on it while you say out loud ha hu hum 3 times. Ha hu hum. Ha hu hum. Ha hu hum. Now keep the focus on the ball while you say ha hu hum 6 times internally without speaking. Alright, open your eyes. We are now done with the exercise. I hope it was a pleasant experience for you. I hope that you feel more relaxed now. And if you do, then that's great. If not, then you can always experiment with the exercise. You can focus on feeling the energy more in your lower belly in the beginning. You can do more loops, less loops. In any case, this was the exercise, and I hope that you got a great result. In the exercise that we just did, I just wanted to make a note. You don't have to sit up completely straight without any support for your back. I know that's what people normally do in meditation, in different kinds of vipassana and yoga meditation. You don't necessarily have to do that here. What I do is that I simply sit down on my couch in a fairly comfortable position and just lean back to the extent that I want to. I don't lie down. I don't, sit down so that my back is tilted backwards to any great degree. It's just, as I would sit normally in a chair or in a couch. So But anyways, some final points here. As I stated in the first video, you're welcome to contact me if you have any questions. Please bear in mind that I'm not a teacher. I have a full-time job. I'm just doing this in order to hopefully help some people who need help. And I've written my email below, and you're welcome to contact me. I would like to stay anonymous though. And if you want to, you can write your question in the comment section, because in that way, more people will actually be able to benefit from the reply. Some final points I'd like to make also regarding the exercise in Kundalini is that I hope it was a great experience for you. Some people, they tend to do it, do a shorter version of this exercise. Some tend to do a longer version. Some tend to want to experiment a bit, and that's great. I would advise you to do that. Just do whatever feels good. One thing that you can do is to focus on grounding the energy ball more in the end of the exercise. If you want to, you can do more loops in order, if you think you may feel a more harmonious response in your body. Most people do it from 20 to 30 minutes. Personally, I need to do it from 25 to 26, 27 minutes in order to really feel the energy get grounded. In general, I would say you probably don't have to do it for more than 30 minutes. If you have to, then there are some other energy side effects that are playing a role. Could be something temporary. And I would say that in general, doing this exercise can be the beginning of a new journey. It can lead you from a state of suffering to one that is more focused on enjoyment and actually enjoying the Kundalini experience. There are other exercises, energy exercises, that you can do. In fact, there are, numerous exercises that you can do. Two very important ones that I can recommend is one called the standing in stillness exercises. And these are actually a set of exercises that will learn you how to ground the energy into the earth and your surroundings. They will strengthen some of the other main meridians in the body, so not just the front and back channel, but also some other channels. They are excellent for feeling more rooted and grounded, and is a very powerful grounding exercise. Once you become comfortable in the exercise, it only takes around 5 minutes to do. Then there is another exercise called the Pangu Mystical Qigong exercise. This is another one from Michael Wynn. This one will integrate the female and male side of your body, the yin and the yang, and a lot of the side effects that we feel are theoretically from this duality split that we experience, and this one can, I believe, smoothen out some of these. I found it to be a very healing exercise, and once you become comfortable in this, it also only takes around 5 minutes. If you want to do these exercises, then what I do is that I simply go to Michael Wynn's instructors page. I simply, I talk to some of his instructors and I set up Skype sessions with them, and then we go through the exercise and they teach me how to do it. Michael Wynn also has DVDs that you can buy, and then you can view the exercises, and he has audio CDs. Personally, I don't use them so much because the audio CDs, I find them to be quite long. They are 15, 16 hours, some of them, and personally I don't have the patience to go through 16 hours of material. I want the goodies right away, so I simply set up sessions with his instructors instead. But I believe that some people could certainly benefit from hearing these exercises. Yes, hope you enjoyed this, and I would say best of luck on your journey. Hope that everything will go well, and if it does, then please tell other people whom you know are suffering. Tell them that they don't have to suffer from kundalini side effects. Tell them that there is a set of practices, some exercises that can greatly reduce the side effects, because most people actually don't know. They think that they just have to live with this and have to go through years of painful change in order to feel good at some point years ahead, and they don't. You can do some very relatively simple exercises and feel much better in just a matter of weeks. Not a lot of people know that, and they are suffering. I see people who never really never really get to a point of abundance. They are just being mowed down by this energy. They are unable to maintain a career, unable to, live their life. And it's not really a very nice thing. If you know some people who are suffering, and if you do these exercises and you find yourself in a much better place, then I would advise you to tell these, suffering souls about that. Alright, guys, that was all for me. Hope that you enjoy, and best of luck on your journey.